and heavy metals. Now those are two terms that you don't typically hear addressed or talked about in one sentence. However, the one, weight loss, is affected by the other, heavy metals, much more than you might realize, because if there is a presence of heavy metals in the body, then the body's not going to be able to get rid of that additional weight. Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Bartosh of Proactive Wellness and Injury Center, and in the next few moments I'd like to share with you some information that I think would be of great benefit to you, especially if you're one of those who has a current thyroid condition, or if you're one who's been attempting to lose weight and has been unable to do so despite all of the actions that you've taken. See, heavy metals are a burden to the body when we get them into our systems, and for more specific information regarding the heavy metal toxicity, I might refer you to previous videos that we've done, and you'll find out, as I said, in more detail information regarding them. But through our environment, through the foods that we eat, the beverages that we drink, the air, the cosmetics, the hygienics, all of these things contribute to the deposition of heavy metals inside our bodies. And as I said, they're a burden to the body, and as they build up they can actually become toxic and very detrimental, to the point where they interfere with the body's ability to properly function. And in the case of an individual who has a thyroid condition, whether it's known or unknown, it's going to affect what's known as the neuroendocrine system. What that simply means is it's going to attack or affect primarily the thyroid gland. And in this, the body will not have an ability to convert the T4, and if you are a thyroid sufferer, you know what I'm talking about, because you often get your blood test to look at these markers. But your body will have an inability to convert the T4 to T3, and if it can't do that, then you're not going to be losing weight. Despite the dieting, despite the exercises that you're doing, you're not going to be able to lose that additional weight. Now, the most common, or the most notorious, I should say, of the heavy metals that we ingest or have within our bodies are cadmium, mercury, lead, and the list does go on, but those are probably the three main contributors. And we have to understand some facts when we're dealing with heavy metals. This is not an issue to be taken lightly. Number one, heavy metals are not, they are in your body, and it doesn't matter who you are. You live in this world, you're subjected to this environment and to the creature comforts that we enjoy, and as a result, you have ingested, through those mechanisms that I mentioned a few moments ago, heavy metals into your body. Whether you're aware of it or not, it's just the nature of the beast. It's where we live now and how we're being affected. So that's a given. Number two, heavy metals in the body are not desirable. As I said earlier, they will affect the body's ability to function fully, and you can't truly enjoy health when they're in there. And the longer they're there, the more of them that are gathered, the more damage that is done. Indeed, that's a fact. And also, if you have these, as I said in this, I mentioned a few moments ago, when you have these heavy metals, especially if you have a thyroid condition, it doesn't matter how many diets you go and you're on, from one after the other, it doesn't matter how much exercise you do, how many DVDs you buy, or how faithful you might be committed, you can't lose the weight. You won't do it, because the fact that you do have a thyroid condition, and the fact that you might be one who has tried various diets and has been faithful to exercise and still you're not losing weight, it's not only possible, but it's highly probable that you have heavy metal toxicity. And in order to go any further with your health, what you're going to have to do is to eliminate those heavy metals. So what you might consider doing, if you'd like, is to have heavy metal testing done. Now, there are various means that we use to test heavy metals in our patients. You can find a doctor who does this as well. We can use urine, we use blood, you can even use hair to find out the presence of the heavy metals and the quantity of the heavy metal toxicity within the body. The next thing you want to do is to find a doctor who is trained to who can not only evaluate the presence of the heavy metals, but also eliminate them from your body. And it's a very critical thing. You have to, it's not something you want to do lightly. It's not something you want to Google on the internet and then undertake yourself. You just don't want to do this. If you have heavy metals in your body, it's imperative that once you start to release them into your system, that you have certain pathways that the body recruits in order to eliminate, to get rid of these heavy metals, because as I said earlier, they are very toxic. And in combination, if this isn't done properly, and if your body literally has to be strong enough to be able to withstand this toxic burden that's now being released on it, in addition to everything else it's doing, if it's not prepared for it, it can result in some very serious chronic and even permanent health issues. So it's not something that you want to take lightly. Then after having done this, of course, you want to evaluate your environment. You want to see, you want to try to eliminate or at least reduce the ingestion once again of these heavy metals, so that you don't end up in the same circumstance or situation that you were before. And again, I refer you to videos that we've done in the past that will help you to identify the sources of the heavy metals that you might be exposed to and ingesting. Those are some of the things that you might consider doing. What we do in our center for our patients, knowing that indeed they're coming in to us from outside or this world that we live in and are subjected to these things that I just alluded to, we get them on what we call a three-step, a very easy three-step bio-detox program. First, strengthening the body so that it's ready, it's prepared to withstand the challenges that are going to be put upon it, getting rid of the heavy metals, discharging them, and then eliminating them totally and wholly. And it's been very successful. It's very easy and it's very efficient to do. Look, I hope that this information has been beneficial to you, especially, as I said, if you're one of these individuals who's being treated for thyroid condition, and bless your heart, you've dieted, you've exercised, but you can't shed those unwanted pounds, it's very, very likely that you have heavy metal toxicity. So we invite you to view other videos that you might gain some more information. If you'd like, we also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Proactive Wellness. And also submit any questions or any comments that you might have. We appreciate hearing from you so that we might better serve you in knowing your needs as well. And in the event that you would like some additional assistance with this, please don't hesitate to contact our office, that we might be of service to you as well, because our goal is to help you to achieve the best performance of your life. So once again, I do thank you for viewing, and until the next one, God bless.